Hey everybody, just got back, well actually that's not true. I got back 2 days ago from the Costa Ludus CET1 Carbine Element Theory class in Batesville, Arkansas. Been looking forward to this class for a while. I had all of these intentions of having great video. I had GoPro charged up. I had everything ready to go. I even had permission from Chris to do some video, and I was so damn busy I didn't get any pictures or any videos at all. So unfortunately this review is just going to be me talking. I'm also going to have a second review where I go over the gear. So if you're looking for gear, or if you're looking for video, if you're looking for cool guys running and gunning, I don't have any of that here. This is just a my spoken words review of the Costa Ludus class. If you're wanting to know about guns, if you're wanting to know about gear, look at my second video. I'm going to have a second video in this. It's just going to be what I took to the Costa class. What worked for me, what didn't. Okay, so with that out of the way, what we've got is 3-day carbine class in Batesville, Arkansas. I'm going to try to keep it as close I'm going to try to keep it simple and as close to as my words as I can. So yeah, anyway, day one we get there. We meet Chris. We're standing there. He gives us the safety brief, 4 firearm safety rules. We go over those. Everybody recites them out loud. And Chris explains how these are more like life rules than just range rules. You know, it was really kind of neat how he broke it into how it could fit into your life, not just into the range. We started off, he said, don't dress up, don't, keep everything as slick as possible. We're just going to be zeroing for the first part of the day. A zero is one of the most important things you need to do, and a zero is a fine act all on its own. For this carbine course, there were 17 of us on day 1, 18 on day 2, and 17 again on day 3. Everybody was running an AR, except for me and one other guy, and he was running a Rifle Dynamics 5.45 gun. He ran his 2 of the 3 days, and he ran an AR on the second day. I was running AK, but we'll go over that in the weapons and gear video. We went out, we zeroed. After we zeroed at 50, Chris explained why he wanted a 50-yard zero. 50-yard zero for most 223 rifles from a 10.5 to an 18-inch barrel are going to be pretty close from 50 to 200. You're going to be off a little bit, but it's all going to stay within the kill zone. You might be 2 inches off from 50 to 200, but it's 2 inches. You're still, 2 inches, come on. You might be 2 inches off at point blank, depending on your height over bore. So you're talking maybe 4 inches difference from height over bore to bullet drop difference in a 50 from 0 yards to 200 yards. You're talking maybe maximum 3.5, 4 inches. Once again, depends on your height over bore, how tall your sights are, what you're running. But that's a rough estimate, so that's why he wanted a 50-yard. The targets we used were VTAC Tactical. He said he really liked those. One side had 4 bullseyes in the center. The other side was a skeleton with, I think, a 4-inch square on the face, a 6-inch square on the chest, and 8-inch or 10-inch on the pelvic girdle area. I don't remember how big those were. I do know the chest was 6 inches because he really stressed staying in that 6 inches. We worked, after the 0, we worked standing, kneeling, sitting, speed kneeling, actually getting down and doing a good braced kneel, all the different, from standing to ground. We worked those back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You might do 5 rounds to the chest standing. You might do 3 rounds from kneeling. But he went over all the different types, and he said, find what works best for you. He said when he was younger, yeah, he'd try to, maybe force a guy into, bending his leg a certain way. He's like, people don't all bend the same way. So, find what works for you, what is best for you, and then use that. He was real big about what he called being your own black belt. You be your own black belt. You find what it is that works for you, that makes you a killer, and you use it. Another thing he always said is beat your yesterday. So, do whatever you got to do to beat your yesterday. If yesterday you didn't do jack shit and you played video games all day, beat that yesterday. How are you going to beat that yesterday? Do a push-up. Do 1 push-up today. Do 2 push-ups tomorrow. Do 3 push-ups the day after that. Little itty-bitty things that can make you a better person in the long run. Just beat your yesterday. And I really liked that because it falls real close in line to what I always say of make yourself harder to kill. Anything I can do today to make myself harder to kill tomorrow. It's the same concept, just different verbiage. But I liked that. He also told everybody, he's like, I know you guys spent a lot of money on gear. I know you guys probably, blamed me to your wife and said, oh, I got to have this holster, honey, or I got to have this. It's for the class. He said, that's cool. I'll take that. But he really wanted you to train how it would happen for you in real life. He said, if you're a cop and you're running body armor, run body armor while you're out there. He's like, if you don't think it's going to happen for you, you live out in the middle of nowhere, kind of like I do, and, what's the odds of me wearing body armor? He's like, don't wear body armor. Train how it's going to be for you. I'll get into my gear and how I trained in the second video. Anyway, we worked multiple positions from standing, kneeling, to prone, and different positions in each one of those until we found what worked for us. We also did sitting drills. Sorry, I forgot about those. We did multiple target drills, and we would do shoot 'em ups, shoot 'em downs, and X drills. Shoot 'em up and shoot 'em down sounds just like it is. You'd start, for a shoot 'em up, you'd start at a pelvic groin. You'd go groin, chest, head, chest, groin. And you might do that 5 times. And then he'd say, shoot 'em down. Shoot 'em down would be head, chest, groin, chest, head. Get the general principle of it. Up, downs, down, up, shoot 'em up, shoot 'em down. X drill, you'd have your target and your neighbor's target. And you would go head on yours, head on yours, pelvic girdle on theirs. So you're going top to bottom. Then you go head on theirs, pelvic girdle on yours, and then you come back over here to center, and then come over here to center. So you are making an X and then a line through it. Really good. That's something that I really need because I've got a bad habit of oversteer. I've got my gun up, I shoot mine, I come over here and I'm go way past it and have to backtrack. So the X drill was really good. It helped me. I do like that one. Let's see. That was pretty much day 1. We had a whole bunch of information. We were either jamming mags, Chris was giving a speech, or we were making the guns hot. It's the only thing we did. Day 2, he introduced supine and urban supine. we went over those. We worked those from the 7-yard line back to the 100-yard line. We also worked malfunctions. Oh, and the day started with another 0. He wanted to make for sure that everyone was still on, nothing happened to your guns overnight, and that you were still shooting your natural point of aim. Because a lot of us, our natural point of aim shifted from day 1 to day 2 because we were getting more comfortable to these positions. So we did make some minor adjustments on 0. So we did zeros, supine and urban supine, and then we got into malfunctions. Malfunctions, we did bolt overrides, we did double feeds, we did stovepipes, and we did where maybe you have an empty chamber because you didn't seat your mag well. After we went over those and we cleared those several times, I was running an AK, so I really didn't have to do the malfunction drills the way that everyone else was. And on this day, I was the only one with an AK. So I ended up running my neighbor's AR for the drills. What you'd do is you would set up the drill while your buddy was back at the 25 and you're at the 7. You would set it up, turn the gun injection port down so he couldn't see what type of malfunction you had. At the command, you'd run up, you'd grab the gun, pick it up, and pull the trigger, and it would click. You'd look and see what malfunction you had. You'd do whatever remedy was needed for that malfunction. And we'd go through those over and over and over. So you'd get, a double feed, and then you'd set up a bolt override, and then you'd set up a stovepipe or whatever. And then your partner, and you would switch, and he would set up those for you on your gun. Let's see. We did that, and then we went to lunch. Chris gave his, I think it was called Mind and Thought speech, which ran about an hour. But he gave it to us while we were eating, which it was really good, and I'm gonna end up butchering and paraphrasing a lot of it if I got into detail. So I'm just not gonna do it the justice that you get when you hear it from him. Basically, how you need to think if you encounter somebody who is actively destroying lives, and how you need to be willing to destroy them, or you need to be willing to leave. If you're on the scene of an active shooter, you better be 100% sure that you're going to do what you can, or you need to leave. You either need to be the hero, or you're going to be a casualty, or you need to get out of there. He talked about situations where law enforcement officers have been killed in the line of duty because they tried to handle someone at a 6 when that person was a 10 that day. And when that person is a 10 and they're on 100% out to murder, kill, destroy, you need to match that 10 with your own 10. If you come in at a 7 and they're at a 10, you're going to get smoked. You come in at a 9 and they're a 10, you're going to get smoked. And it was a really good speech, or whatever you want to call it. It was really good. It really made you think. And he talked about excellence. He talked about, do you want to be good? Do you want to be average? Do you want to be great? Or do you want to be excellent? And how a person needs to be excellent for their family. You don't need to go out to the range and shoot and say, that's a pretty good group. You need to go out to the range and shoot and say, that's an excellent group. You need to, don't be okay with mediocre. Push yourself and get yourself from these groups to these groups to these groups. It was a really good speech, and like I said, I'm not doing it justice. Excuse me while I drink some coffee. It was really good. I liked it. Thought he did a great job with it. As soon as we were done with that at lunchtime, we went out on the field and we did the dollar bill drill. And if you don't know what that is, you can look it up. It's a way to make it your height overboard, to make you remember height overboard. And you try to shoot George Washington in the nose, go from there. Okay, we finished that drill, and then we did a few more down and backs from everywhere from the 100 to the 7-yard line, multiple targets, multiple threats, multiple shots. We got the guns hot with jam mags. We get the guns hot with jam mags. You might be at the 7-yard line and go back to the 25, and turn and shoot. Then you might run back forward to the 7 and shoot, and then you might run to the 50, turn and shoot. So, I mean, it's just constant movement, constant mags. We got the guns good and hot, and then we took a afternoon break. When we came back from afternoon break, we did a totally field strip the weapons, in which, once again, only guy with an AK, dust cover, bolt carrier, slide the bolt out and set it down. Everybody with the AR had to pull the bolt, charging handle, remove the upper from the lower, disassemble the bolt carrier group, and have all your pieces laid out there, your pin, your bolt carrier group, all that. And he said, ready, set, go, put it together. First one together, loaded, stood up, and you yelled up. And he would run over to you and he'd say, bust them, and you'd put 4 in the head. First one to get their gun together, get up, put all 4 in the head was the winner. I won with the AK, but I had less to do. Got a couple of spaces down, was first one up with AR, and he jumped up and he rattled them off. Bap, 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 bap. Missed one. My buddy who was next to me that we ran with, I ran with this one guy all weekend. He was a great guy. He was a LEO. Totally felt safe 100% of the time with him there. We even ran buddy drills on day 3, which I'm about to get into. He's up. He jumps up. He runs all 4. And buddy there, Cloverleaf, he ends up being the actual winner of that drill. We then got the guns hot a couple more times, everywhere from 100 to 7 yards. Everything from prone to standing, prone to kneeling, kneeling to standing, whatever. Different positions, different targets, and different round counts on each one. And you talk about, he'd be like, 3 targets, 2 to the head, standing, 2 to the body, kneeling, 3 to the groin, prone, 2 to the head, standing, and 1 to the body, bust them. And you're like, holy shit, what was all that? So you're trying to remember, and you're going up and down, and then he's like, run back to the 50, and you turn, make sure you're safe, and you're not flagging anybody, and you run back to the 50, and you turn around. Excellent. Stuff you don't ever really do. Most people don't ever really do when they go to the range. That pretty much concluded day 2. Day 3, we show up, fresh out the bag, cold to guns, back to the 200-yard line. Shot from the 200, walked down, checked our targets, went back, shot from the 200, just to kind of show people what they do at that distance. After that, it was all movement drills, and it was all team drills for the rest of the day. All we did is shoot and move as a team, and it was great. We did down and backs. We did crisscrossing. We did, just nothing but run and gun. Go jam mags, come back, shoot. Go jam mags, come back, shoot. Go running. We were beat. And at the end of the day, we cleaned up the range, and Chris handed out certificates and coins and talked to us for about half hour. It was excellent class. I highly recommend it. One of the reasons that I recommend it, and I've already told you, is that you push yourself harder there than you do on the normal range. And now, what I'm about to show you, if you're grossed out by ugly old dad bods, be prepared to fast forward or turn it off or whatever, because I'm about to show you my dad bod. Alright, fair warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What I mean by you push yourself harder out there in that class than you will your average range trip is this right here. You see, this is 3 days old, these bruises. I've got other bruises here. I've got bruises here. I've got them all over me. All over. I don't get bruises like that when I go to my normal range trips. I don't push myself that hard to where I don't know that I look like that. Until I come home and my wife is like, oh my God, what happened to you? So, in a situation where you're out on the range, if you're not pushing yourself to the point where you're getting bruised up, to the point where you're sore, to the point where your fingertips, from trigger, from loading mags, when your fingertips aren't sore, when your knees aren't bruised from going and kneeling and standing and running and sliding on your knees. And if you're not doing that, you need to. That's why you need to take this class. This class is 100% worth it, even though you can watch all of these different movements. You can watch my video, you can watch 100 different other people's videos and find out exactly what these guys are training, exactly what these guys are teaching. You can find it. Right now, go to YouTube. You're already on YouTube. Wait until you watch the rest of this video and then search and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's only so many ways that you can lay down. There's only so many ways that you can stand up. There's only so many ways that you can kneel. The thing is there's also only so many ways you can do a backflip. You can watch a YouTube video on how to do a backflip and you can do one and you might even land it. But are you going to land it properly? Are you going to land it to where you don't hurt yourself? Are you going to land it to where it's the most energy efficient? Are you going to land it to where you can then go into another movement? These are stuff that you don't get unless you go to a gymnast coach. That's kind of the way that this class is. Yeah, I can learn how to stand. I can learn how to sit. I've watched all the Magpul videos. I loved all the Magpul videos. Standing, kneeling, all that stuff is the same then. It's just tweaked a little bit. But to have someone there who knows, hey man, kick your knee out a little bit more, it's going to be more comfortable. Oh shit, yeah, that works. I pushed myself harder. I never get bruised up like that when I go to the range. I never push myself so hard that as I'm reaching for a mag, my thumb is literally bruising my side, is ripping that mag out and jamming it in the gun. I never go that hard. Maybe you do. If you go that hard and you're that good, then you probably don't need to be going to the Carbine Elements 1 class. Maybe you need to go to Carbine Elements 2. Maybe you need to go to a vehicle class. This was entry-level carbine. I find it highly useful and I liked it. I think you would like it too. Give it a shot. And please stick around on my channel. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. And watch my gear video. It's coming up next. Won't be as long as this one, but it'll be